Welcome to Desmos Calculator Boot Camp. Today we're going to look at sliders in the Desmos Calculator. This is the second in a series of videos, so be sure to check out the one on functions that's already posted at technomath.com. So let's start. You may have heard of y equals mx plus b. This is the form we use for an equation of a line in slope-intercept form. But what's cool about the Desmos calculator is it notices that m and b as coefficients, and it will allow you to add them as sliders. So I'm going to click on the all, which will make both the m and the b sliders. If you click on the m and b separately, you can do them one at a time, either way. Now, the cool thing about sliders is you can actually slide them, which is where they get the name sliders. So I can move this m, and then I can use this to understand better what that m does to the graph of the line as it is changed. So a positive number as it gets larger makes the line steeper and steeper. A negative number as it gets smaller makes the line steeper and steeper. And of course, as the closer it gets to zero, the more horizontal the line is. And at 0, it is a horizontal line. The B is our y-intercept, so we can move this around and see what's happening. And what it really is doing, it is moving the line up and down. Now, you may think it's moving it left and right, and you're right. It actually is doing both, moving it left and up, down and right. But when the slope is negative, it's right and up, down and left, so that changes, but it does have to do with the position of the line in the plane. The cool thing about sliders is when you're unsure about how to approach a problem that contains some sort of formula, it's often easier to just kind of look at it in Desmos. So let's take a look at a different type of function. I'm going to X these out. Another one we use a lot in algebra is the quadratic function. So I'm going to say y equals, and by the way, you can leave off the y equals if you want. It'll still work. So I'm going to do ax squared. Shift 6 makes an exponent, if you're wondering how I did that, plus bx plus c. And you'll notice it says add slider. Now I can click these individually. Let's do it that way this time. And it puts them in reverse order, so I'm going to move these back in order and put the A, B, and C in order by sliding these around. And then again, I can analyze what each of these is doing. Now, it gets more interesting when I click this button here that has the little triangle in it. This is the play button. And I can just sit back and watch it go. And now, as you notice, as the value for A gets larger, the parabola is going up, opening up, and is skinnier. As the value of A is negative and getting smaller, the parabola is opening down and getting skinnier. And again, as the closer that A is to 0, the flatter the parabola becomes, the more horizontal it is. And when it is 0, let's put it on 0 so you can see. It's not even a parabola anymore. It's a line. So it's not technically a quadratic function. Once that A becomes 0, it's kind of lost something there. Now, once we've done A, let's go ahead and leave that at 1, and then let's play B the same way. So just like before, I can use these sliders to help me make sense of a function, of any kind of function. So it's always kind of a fun thing to do, to come in here and play and just observe and learn from the behavior of the graph as B is changing. And then there's C. Now you'll notice this definitely is moving the graph up and down. It's kind of interesting. The M made the slope of the line change and the B moved it up and down. Well, the C is what's moving it up and down here, and this is your y-intercept of your parabola. Now, if you want to have a lot of fun, you can turn them all on at the same time and just watch them go. And it does some crazy things. Now, I'm going to go ahead and turn these off and show you some other things that we can do with sliders. Now, you may have noticed this little animation properties button. when you click on that, it allows you to do repeat in one direction, play it once, and then play indefinitely. This is have it loop forwards and backwards. This is the speed, so maybe you want to slow it down so you could make it half time. So let's do that and see what happens. So now see how much slower that's going, so you can really take your time and make sense of it. And again, you can speed it up as well. Now here at the end of your sliders is like your domain for the value of A. So your value of A will go from -10 to 10. You may want to go further than that. So you can click here and change this first number to whatever you like. Or maybe you don't really want to go -10 to 10. Maybe I want to go -8 to 8. So let's press play and see what that does. See, notice my it's going to turn quicker. It's not going to go past the 8. I've still got it on slow though, so let's change this animation to maybe 1.5 times. And it'll go a little faster. Alright. And then finally, maybe you don't really want the decimal values at all. You know, for example, maybe you're doing a test question and all of the answer choices have integers for A, B, and C. Well, you could limit, if you click here on the 10 where it says step, you could say, I really want you to start at -10 and go to +10, and I want to step by 1. In other words, it'll jump from -10 to -9 to -8. It'll skip all those numbers in between, which would be decimal numbers. So let's click and see how that looks. And it's kind of like stop motion. It kind of jumps a little bit. So notice my value for B kind of moves the parabola left, right, kind of around in a circular or a parabolic path, I guess. Anyway, that's something else you can do. So consider sliders. They're pretty fun. You can really have a good time with these. So to end this video, I want to do something kind of interesting. Let's take let's do a parabola. Oh, let's go ahead and call that A. I'm going to leave off the B this time. Now I'm going to change that equals to a less than. And look at that. And then I'm going to hit play and have that move up and down. Isn't that interesting? Maybe I don't really want it to go to 10, or I could go to 10. I'm going to zoom out so you can see more of this. Look how that's going. So that's interesting. Just feel free to come in and play in the Desmos Calculator. This is a free resource for you. It will help you understand math better in many ways. And the kids that get the most out of Desmos are the ones who take their time to go in and play with themselves independently, apart from your assignments. Just go look and see what something does in case you're curious. Let's do one more before we stop. So for our last graph, we'll look at a square root inequality. So let's click on all to add sliders A, B, and C. I'm going to zoom out and I'm going to pull this graph over. Notice I'm clicking and dragging to pull it over. Let's see what happens. Let's press play. And then we'll add B. See what that does. And let's add C. So you can do them all, or you can just do one. If you want to turn off A right here and just let it do its thing with the A right at the 2. Isn't that interesting? So many cool things happening. So this concludes our video on sliders in the Desmos Calculator. Go in there today and see what you can create. Y'all have a great day.